was trying to get things to style my wig. So I was running around trying to find everything. Anyways. Alright. So I think I'm gonna eat first and then I'm out of breath. You should. Okay. I'm going to what am I gonna do? My brain just went blank. I'm going to start a Reddit story. It's gonna be a scary Reddit story because I feel like it. Yeah. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna get it playing.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Reddit Readings. In the next few episodes, we are testing out a new narrator's voice. This voice is supposed to be more natural and flow better. But we need your opinion. In the show description there's a link to a straw poll. Vote on which voice you like most, and we'll choose the one that has the most votes after a few days. Thank you. Let's go on with the episode. Today we are on the subreddit r/askreddit, and hearing stories from people who have explored abandoned buildings. Enjoy.
Ooh, abandoned buildings.
Reddit Readings, episode 25.
When you think about businesses that are selling
Damn
through
ads.
the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds,
Me
sure,
too, Fizzy.
that business is going through. That's Shopify
For graduation. Earn skills in weeks, not years.
That is so loud.
Phoenix.edu.
Those who've explored abandoned
Okay, here we go.
buildings that
Hey.
went seriously wrong. What happened? We used to play Airsoft King of the Hill games in an old early 1900s mansion that had been abandoned since the 80s in the Illinois cornfields. We never went deep into the basement because it was partially flooded and at the same time gave everyone a very weird feeling when we would get to the bottom of the steps. Well, one day, we decided to play a night game and the whole vibe of the house was off. It felt like there was someone standing right behind you the entire time and we kept hearing noises and sloshing water coming from the basement. So we booked it out of there, and as we were leaving we all swear we saw a light come on really quick up in the attic and then go dark. Took 2 steps into the doorway and a gigantic banana spider crawled right onto my face. I knocked myself backwards out of the place, just hitting myself in the face to get it off. After that I decided that was enough of that noise. When I was a teenager, some friends and I had nowhere to live. We found an abandoned house in a fairly dodgy suburb to live in. One of the people out.
Okay, these are like short stories. I need to find like a longer one. Ooh, creepypasta.
anything. What is any?
Hey, Mom. I just want to tell you I'm heading to Jenny's after school, and we're going to do some homework and some cocaine she got from her brother. None of us will realize it's laced with fentanyl, and the amount I get in my bump will be enough to kill me almost instantly. You'll never believe this was my first time doing drugs, even though it will be. I'm sorry, and I love you.
Doing any illicit or unprescribed.
What kind of ad was that? Oh my god. Do you watch Sam and Colby? I do a little bit. I need to more.
The phenomenon that will forever.
Okay, here we
Learn more
go.
about the dangers at fentanyltakesallco.org.
Alright.
The 90s were a difficult time for the country and its people.
Ooh, the 90s. The 90s were an interesting time. The 80s, the 70s through the 90s were the time that serial killers were most active. By the way, fun fact. I'll just keep playing.
It wasn't just the time period.
It was the 90s, a phenomenon that will forever be remembered as one of the most difficult periods of the 20th century in Russian history, right after the October Revolution, the purges of 1937, and World War II. The Soviet Union had just collapsed, and the new government didn't know exactly what to do. Factories that for generations were supported by the state started to close, and millions of people suddenly found themselves jobless. The seemingly impervious moral standards of the Soviet man crumbled with an unexpected ease almost overnight, and the crime rate skyrocketed. It was a difficult time, but it was also the time of opportunities. Those who capitalized on the newly discovered free market prospects the best are now at the top of the Forbes charts. Those who decided to stay honest people embraced the free market at the face value and tried to ride the wave starting new businesses. Many more remained ordinary workers, not willing to take any risks and simply thankful to have a job. And then there were us, the bandits, the mafia, bratva, or the brotherhood. It was easy money, and that alone
I'll
was
share.
enough to make people
Take some.
join.
Have a bite.
Why slave off for a man who'd pay you pennies if you could just make a monthly visit to him along with a few of your bros and make him pay you 10 times more? Threaten his wife or daughter, kick his employees' teeth out, pour gasoline all over his table in his fancy new suit, and he would quickly find himself willing to negotiate a deal. It wasn't just robbery. No, it was a bit more complex than that.
Okay, so I'm seeing. Hold up. I need a bite because I just got a bite that was really spicy. Somehow. I think I accidentally spilled some pepper flakes on this. But it sounds like. So, okay. The narrative, the guy who's telling the story is in a crime, or is in organized crime. And I'm really curious to see where this goes. Because I don't know whether it's going to be paranormal, and I don't know whether it's going to be like a stalker situation. There are many different ways that this story could go, so I'm really curious, and I'm liking how it's starting. Although the character is pretty interesting. I want to know his name. I'm curious.
By entering a deal with us, the man was also paying us for the lack of problems, both from us and other gangs. Some businessmen were even glad to have us on their side, claiming that we were, quote, easier to figure out than the new taxes. Of course.
I'm sorry, working with a gang is easier than paying taxes? That is wild. And these are the 90s. I'm pretty sure this has to be a fake story. So, if that, it's reminding me of our current political stance. My bad. Had to bring it up.
It was easy for both parties. Sometimes some rivaling or up-and-coming gangs would ruin our man's store or set his car on fire. This was their way to challenge us for the territory. And to keep our meal ticket, we had to fight back. Sometimes they'd challenge us directly, shooting up someone's house or a car in the middle of the day.
Wow.
And sometimes, if the meal ticket was big enough, he could even order us out.
Hi, Darren.
Turn to us if they wanted to settle their problems with their competitors. That was one of the few rare instances where we'd have to resort to things like kidnappings and torture.
Oh, wow.
Usually, it was easy. Grab their relative at a bus stop, shove them into a car for a long silent ride around the city, let them go, and they would probably take the hint. If not, we'd have to resort to the more drastic measures, like arson and other forms of vandalism. If even that wouldn't work, then that was the time for a more close-up chat. A chat with hammers, shears, pliers, and torches.
Oh.
One of our meal tickets wanted some particular information beaten out of an acquaintance of his. I wasn't told what exactly he needed to say, but I wasn't there to know that. I was more of an escort to the negotiation place, which was an old abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city.
Imagine being the
A
mafia's
place
driver.
where no one could hear your cries. Finding out where he lived was a trivial matter of bribing a familiar police officer who provided us with a man's whereabouts by the end of the day. when the night fell upon the city,
Warm pizza.
me and 3 others jumped in the car and made our way to the man's street. We had a dust bag, ropes, and a baseball bat for each of us. So,
Hold up, okay, first of all, they bribed a police officer, which I don't like that part. See, cold is better. I disagree, I'm sorry. You're on the Xbox playing on... Good for you. A bat? Yeah, that's wild. The fact that they bribed a police officer is the thing that's getting me. Because, unfortunately, that is quite realistic. So...
we expected to easily persuade him to join us for a ride in the trunk. Many people would start spilling their beans as soon as they would see us approach. But we knew that if we wanted him to tell
I don't
us
think it is.
everything, we had to take him with us. We parked our car not far away from his house and started waiting. The plan was to catch him on his way home from work. And after an hour or so of waiting, we noticed a man matching the description we were given. I remember that upon seeing him, I immediately started having second thoughts about our endeavor. The man was almost 2 meters tall, and although he was not a bodybuilder, you could almost see his muscles bulge through his clothes. He walked the streets with confidence.
Hold up. He's almost 2 meters tall, and a meter... How much is a meter? Do you have any animals? I have a snake, 9 goats, and 3 dogs. Hope that suffices. Hold up. I have to do some math. How much is a meter? I gotta find out how tall this guy is. How many feet in a meter? Okay. 3 feet. Okay, a little over 3 feet. So this man was a little bit over... Okay, so this man was slightly over 6 foot. It seems.
Even I could envy.
Like 6 foot.
And his eyes were burning with
6.
fire like rubies.
Like 6.5.
My initial
What?
thought was to come back later with more people. However, one of the guys already jumped out of the car and started to run in the direction of the man, swinging his bat. Not to be outdone, we followed. The first hit of a bat landed on his raised forearm. The man didn't even take a step back, instead facing the attack head on. Despite my worries, his muscles were no match for a weapon, and I saw him silently wince as the wood cracked his bones. The second hit from one of the guys who ran over landed on the man's knee. I was confident that I heard the bones crack. The man kneeled with a soft sigh and rose his hand to stop the next attack. Bad idea. With a refined movement, my bat grazed across his fingers, bending them backward.
Oh!
Someone kicked his other leg, and the man fell to the ground. I'd seen it 100 times before. When surrounded on the ground, people would usually assume the fetal position and cover their head. But instead, the man was not giving up to stand up. The 4 of us surrounded him and started kicking and stomping. We knew exactly where to hit to make it count, while making sure the man would survive. Lower back, stomach, ankles, fingers, teeth, eye sockets. All vulnerable areas that were easily hurt.
Ouch.
And yet, despite us stomping his fingers and kicking his elbows, the man was still trying to get up, not bothering to guard even once. We were kicking him for 2 minutes straight, until finally he physically couldn't move anymore. By tomorrow, his arms would probably turn purple from all the bruises on them. When we were sure that he wouldn't be able to move anymore, we tied him up, put a bag over his head, and threw him in the trunk. While we were doing all that, I took a glance at his face. A few of his teeth were missing. His nose and lips were squashed, and his eyes had bruises around them. By the time we'd get him to the warehouse, they would probably start swelling, making it hard for him to see. After shoving him into the car, we proceeded to the warehouse on the outskirts of the city, where the others had already been waiting for us.
Yes,
And
I
among
do.
them, Igor, the surgeon. He didn't have a medical education, but you can guess why everyone called him that. We pulled up to the warehouse, pulled the man out of the trunk, and pulled him towards the warehouse. Despite the heavy injuries, he started resisting, almost breaking free at some point and landing a hit on my pal Roman with his elbow.
My pal
And
Roman?
so we took another 2 minutes to explain to him why it was a bad idea to struggle.
Hold up, okay, so we know his friend's name is Roman, but what is his name? And what is the name of the man that they are trying to kidnap right now? And apparently that man is almost 6 feet tall, or is over 6 feet tall. I'm still trying to guess what's gonna happen. It's starting to sound a little bit paranormal, so maybe, okay, I'm gonna try to guess what's gonna happen. What I think is gonna happen is that this guy that they're kidnapping is, like, something evil, you know? Even though he seems human-like, or... Actually, no, that doesn't feel right. I actually have no idea where this is going. That means it's a good story because you can't guess the plot. So I don't know where this is going.
You stubborn son of a... Roman was kicking him with vengeance, stopping only to wipe off the blood that was dripping from his split eyebrow.
Oh.
When will you learn your place? After we were done with him, I was scared that we might have killed him. But just a few seconds after we'd stopped, he started moving again. Wondering where he was getting that much strength, we picked him up and brought him inside the warehouse, where we tied him to the chair.
The
Look
chair.
at that, Roman exclaimed, pulling something out from underneath the stranger's clothes. A massive golden cross and a similarly massive chain to match. Our guy sure is religious. The man jerked in place, trying to resist, to stop Roman from taking his cross away. And I felt a bit of respect well up within me. The man was not just submitting, he was also trying to protect the symbol of his faith. Let him be, Roman, I told him. Leave the cross alone. That's not very Christian of you. What we had done, and what we were going to do to the man, wasn't very Christian either. But
I was about to say. Oh, don't take the cross off of the person we just kidnapped. That's not very Christian. We're about to beat him up. That's not very Christian. What the heck is this story? He's like, oh no, don't take his cross away. That's not very Christian of you. Oh my god, this is interesting.
Beating a man to within an inch of his life was personal, a small transgression of the commandments. But taking away his cross, that was sacrilege. All right.
Okay.
Roman stepped away from him. But
All
if
right,
he kicks it, I'm taking it. You hear that? The man didn't reply. As usual, he remained silent. I suddenly felt intimidated by that bound and broken figure. We had been beating him senselessly, kidnapping him, bound him, put a bag over his head. Yet, he remained stoic. Not a single word fell from his lips, not a single plea or cry of pain. Let's step outside for a smoke, I told Roman. The surgeon should be here soon.
I'm gonna add more flowers in different places.
You two, keep an eye on him, okay? He told the two other thugs. We'll be back soon.
Oh no, they're separating.
What a strange fella, Roman said when we stepped outside. All that beating, not a word, he said. Do you think the surgeon will be able to make him talk? I asked. Oh yeah, Roman nodded.
Hi.
That man can make anyone sing. Roman winced.
Alright, so now I'm kind of wanting to know who the surgeon
I
is.
think I broke a toe while I was kicking him. What's up?
Karma.
I told him, throwing a cigarette away when I noticed a familiar car pull up. The surgeon always knew how to make an impression. He was a professional. And back then, every pro worth his salt knew that to elevate yourself above the rest of the amateurs, simply having special skills weren't enough. You also had to make a lasting impression on the people around you.
Oh, so you had to have a fancy car?
He appeared out of his car, dressed as always, shoes polished so tediously you could see the stars above reflecting them. The long coat he carelessly wore on his shoulders.
Oh, so he has to
and
look
a three-piece
fancy.
suit underneath without a single fold on it, and a long silk scarf hanging down almost to his knees. A perfect gangster who just stepped down from the silver screen to teach you how it's done. And the thing he always carried in his leather gloves, an ugly, dirty, angular thing that didn't match the rest of his looks at all. A toolbox, the same one you'd see any plumber carry around. I looked away when my eyes crossed his. I couldn't endure his gaze. Cold, sharp and lifeless, like some of the instruments he was using. Evening, he greeted us, wrinkling his nose and waving
Evening.
the cigarette smoke away. The client is in the warehouse, I presume? Hey,
Client?
surgeon, Roman greeted him. Yeah, he's in there waiting for you. Did you warm him up for me? The surgeon asked. Yeah, we worked quite a number on that one, Roman said. I can tell you, that guy can take quite a beating. We've crushed his face into a mush to bring him here. Quite a stubborn one. Really? The
Really?
surgeon got a little bit excited, and his
Hi.
smirk made my skin crawl. Well then, I better not waste any time and get right to it. If he is as stubborn as you say he is, well, we might have a long night ahead of us.
I'm still
He
so...
didn't say those last words as a man who dreaded working long hours. On the contrary, he
Sorry, I
was
just
looking forward to
stopped
it.
talking. I'm still so confused where
He
the
walked
story is
past us
going.
and entered the warehouse. Did you see how worked up he got when he heard that the guy won't talk easily? I asked Roman. Gives me conniptions. No doubt he looks forward to torturing the whole night. We shouldn't have agreed to work with him. If the man is smart, he'll spill the beans soon, Roman said. So, it's up to him. Nobody will torture him just for the sake of it. I doubt that, I told Roman. That surgeon looks like a guy who
You're new
tormented
here?
cats
Hi.
when he was a kid. A moment later, the surgeon exited the warehouse. He seemed furious. Is this some kind of joke? He asked us.
Interesting.
Ease up, man. What are you talking about? I asked him. I was not keen on his tone. You said you beat him up already, but he doesn't have a single bruise on him, the surgeon exclaimed.
Huh.
Roman and I looked at each other. We had clearly seen the man's face. There was no way the surgeon could have missed any of those. Did you take off his hood? Roman asked him. Do I look stupid to you? The surgeon exclaimed. Of course I took off the hood. You said the guy's face was a mush.
So it is something paranormal, because he's all healed. Interesting. I'm still... Okay, I guess I guessed a little bit of what it's about, but it's still... There's still so much that I don't know where this is going. Wow, this is an interesting story.
Looked at each other again. Something wasn't right. We hurried inside. The man was still bound to his chair, so there was no mistake about it. His hood was taken off, and Roman and I didn't need to get close. His face, while covered in dried up blood, was indeed perfectly fine.
There we go.
What the hell? Roman exclaimed. He came over closer and leaned in to take a better look. He really is fine, he shouted to me. No bruises, no scars, nothing. No way.
Needle
I said,
new
coming
channel for
closer.
makeup looks fun.
I grabbed his jaw and forcefully opened the man's mouth. He tried to bite me, and I had to yank my arm away. But when his teeth snapped at where my fingers had been just the second before, I saw that all of them were miraculously intact. I clearly remembered kicking one of his molars out. Clearly remembered seeing the broken fences of his teeth under his swollen lips when I was putting a hood over his head. This
Interesting.
meant that somehow the man regenerated all of his wounds and his teeth in a span of 1 hour. He had no
Huh.
teeth before,
Hi.
I told the surgeon. He has them now. I don't know how, but he grew them back already.
He grew them back.
Really?
Really?
I could hear that he was not convinced. I heard the clanking of his toolbox as he hastily opened it. Well then, you two won't mind if I test that theory.
Okay.
He walked over to the man with a hammer and pliers in his hands. Pushing the man's head back, he shoved the hammer into his mouth to pry it open and brought his pliers closer. I looked away. or the horrible screeching sound of pliers metal scratching against the man's enamel. The cracking sound the bone made when snapped still made me shudder. Quite a champ, I heard the surgeon say with awe in his voice. Didn't even wince. We'll get along fine. And what now? Roman asked him. And now, we wait.
We
The
wait.
surgeon answered. He pointed at Roman with the pliers, which still had a piece of tooth squeezed between them.
Oh.
And if he doesn't miraculously grow his tooth back in 30 minutes, I'm going to be very disappointed that you've wasted my time. Fine, Roman said with bravado,
Uh-oh.
although I could see that he was a bit shaken. If that's what you want, then we'll wait. But I'm telling you, we beat him up good. 30 minutes went by, agonizingly slow. I knew that we were telling the surgeon the truth, but I didn't want to argue with him about that. Suppose the man wouldn't grow his tooth back in 30 minutes. Then what?
Then
Sure,
what?
the surgeon wouldn't be able to do us any harm.
Then you're screwed, I
There were
guess.
4 of us and 1 of him. But he had a lot of clout with our boss. He could create some problems for us. Him saying that we weren't respecting him would suffice to do that. Respect meant a lot in the 90s. It was the only stable national currency back then. Well, time's up, the surgeon proclaimed, walking over to the man. He grabbed his hammer and lifted it, as if getting ready to bring it down on the man's head. But the man just smiled and opened his mouth. The tooth was back there, white
Okay.
and shiny, without even a scratch.
Interesting.
Interesting, the surgeon purred. So, you're like that, huh? He took his toolbox and brought it closer to the man so that he could see its contents. What these amateurs have pulled you through is nothing when compared to what I'm going to do to you, he said, kneeling near the box. If you think that your miracle powers are going to save you,
Miracle
you're gravely
powers.
mistaken. He pulled out a few instruments.
Interesting.
A pair of shears, a saw, a power drill. These are just the warm-up, he showed the man. Do you want to see the main dish?
This
The man
does sound
spat
like
in the surgeon's face.
this does sound like a movie.
The surgeon calmly took out a handkerchief and wiped the saliva off his face. Okay, he said in a calm voice. Main dish it is. His breathing got faster. I could see that he was excited to begin. To him,
See the
the man
video
was a
attachment?
canvas which could
I
never
think
be
I did.
finished. A meal which couldn't be fully consumed. He could get wild with him. And most importantly, he could forget about the restraint. The surgeon pulled out a gas torch and lit it up.
Do that on stream? I
Let's
do.
see if you feel any pain, he said, pointing it at the man's golden cross. The fire didn't hit the cross accurately, scorching a bit of skin underneath. The man started wreathing from pain, trying to break his restraints, and still not a sound came out of his mouth.
It's in my
Good.
it's in my
Surgeon
description.
Then we speak the same language. I didn't want to look at it. Giving Roman a sigh, I stepped outside. The rest of the gang followed, leaving the surgeon alone with his prey. The next few hours seemed like a nightmare. None of us dared to enter the warehouse, as just the sounds alone, amplified by the warehouse's emptiness, were gut-wrenching. The sounds of flesh tearing, the sound a saw makes when its metal teeth scratches against the bone,
Oh,
the wet, squishing sound the hammer makes when it hits meat.
oh,
Sergei, one of us 4, tried to enter once to see how it was going.
oh.
The moment he opened the door and looked inside, he, the man who once dragged a man behind his car for 2 kilometers, threw up onto the ground in disgust. Whatever was going on inside was too much for him to bear. Yet, throughout all of that, the only sound coming from inside we could hear was the surgeon's. His screams of frustration and exhaustion. By the end of the 3rd hour,
Okay, so
he'd
I guess
finally gone silent. there was only silence inside.
Interesting.
We feared that the silent man could break out of his restraints and attack the surgeon.
Oh.
Frankly, at that point, we didn't know what he'd do if that were the case. We couldn't even imagine how subduing him again. Nevertheless,
Do you like Stranger Things?
I
It's alright.
volunteered to take a look
I've never
inside.
finished it, but...
When I stepped inside the building, I understood why Sergei couldn't keep himself together. The floor, in a radius of 3 meters around the bound man, was flooded with blood. Here and there, I could see bits of flesh and cloth scattered around. The stench
God.
of scorched meat and the smell of iron lingering in the air was almost unbearable.
Oh my god.
The surgeon was sitting in the pool of blood, heavily panting. He didn't look very excited anymore. In his hand, he was holding a hammer. I noticed that his palms had fresh blisters on them. The man's entire body was red from the blood he'd lost. Only the whites of his eyes were standing out. But I could see that underneath all that blood, he was fine. He was also
It is
smirking.
something paranormal. Oh.
This freak grows skin back when I'm not looking, the surgeon said, exhausted. I pull it off, throw it into the bucket, and when I look back, he's already fine. Do you want to look at the bucket? He asked me suddenly. It's almost full.
That's crazy.
I believe you, I told him. Do you have a cigarette? He asked me. I thought you don't smoke, I wondered. Just give me the damn cigarette. He shouted so hard that windows of the warehouse trembled. Okay, here you go, I said, when the echo finally subsided. I carefully handed him a cigarette and matches, trying not to step into the blood, and stepped away. The surgeon lit it up and took a deep hit. I'm not done with you, he threatened the bound man, pointing at him with his cigarette. You will talk. You'll talk so loud, the whole of Moscow is going to hear you. He jumped to his feet and headed outside. Too worried to leave the man alone, I stayed inside. A minute later, he came back, carrying a canister of gasoline with him.
Oh.
Now, hold on a second.
Bro's gonna
I
set him on
exclaimed,
fire.
seeing where it was heading. What do you think you're doing? Just stand by and watch, the surgeon said, coming over to the bloodied man. I'll make him talk. You'll see. We're supposed to keep him alive, I shouted at him. Oh, he'll be alive, all right, the surgeon promised me. Alive and talking. He started pouring the gasoline over the man's body, the flammable fluid washing away the blood. In some 15 seconds, the man was practically drenched in it. Here we go. The surgeon smiled and lit up a match. Just so you know, he told the man, I heard that when you're burning, the air boils in your lungs. With that, he threw the match at the man. His entire body went up in flames instantly. I saw his skin bubbling as the flames were vaporizing it.
Oh,
and looked
lovely.
away. A moment later, I heard a previously unheard sound. The grunts of pain. The surgeon's plan worked. The
Okay.
man was finally showing the signs of feeling pain. He was finally subsiding to the torture. I told you I'd make you talk, the surgeon victoriously exclaimed. Burn, he shouted as he raised his hands up.
Burn!
But in his frenzy to make the man feel pain, in his struggle against this indomitable will, the surgeon made one miscalculation.
He looked away.
I was concerned that the rope
Hi.
would burn up and break, but it would actually take a few minutes for that to happen. I'm sure the surgeon knew about that as well. What he forgot about was that the skin, once scorched to such a degree, becomes soft and malleable. It barely stays in place, and it comes off easily. The man suddenly sprung to his feet, pulling his hands, which were tied behind his back, upwards. With a quick
Okay.
motion, the skin of his hands, struggling against the ropes on the wrist, came off like gloves.
Oh.
Next were the ropes on his legs. With his now free hands, he yanked his left leg out of the ropes, which bound it to the chair, making the skin slow off in the process.
Oh.
Then he repeated the same with the other leg. We couldn't stop him.
Oh no.
We couldn't even come closer to him. Throughout
Hi.
all of that, he was still burning and screaming. But
Oh.
as the man finally freed himself, his screams shifted in tone, becoming a victorious one. Still grunting in pain, the man hobbled toward the surgeon, who was in shock from what he was seeing. "How are you still alive?" was all the surgeon could ask before the man grabbed him by the throat. For the first time in the evening, the man spoke. His lips were charred and his throat was burned by the hot air,
Okay.
yet his voice sounded victorious and imposing. "My body is as strong as this cross," he told the surgeon. "And my cross is as strong as my faith." He grabbed the man in a bear hug.
Interesting.
The surgeon screamed when the fire started licking his cheeks and ears. "Are you God-fearing?" the man hollered. The surgeon didn't answer. He was just screaming. I heard Roman and the rest of the gang come inside the warehouse. None of them made a move towards the man. At that point, we doubted that there was anything we could do. We just watched as the surgeon was dying in the man's embrace, consumed by the fire he himself
I feel like I should
started.
add more.
A few minutes later, when the fire finally went out, the man dropped the surgeon's burned body to the ground.
That's rough.
He gave us one look full of pain and unimaginable anger, full of that ire I first noted when I first saw him. And
That-
we ran away.
That. I have a girlfriend.
His skin was almost completely gone, and even some of his muscles were visibly damaged by the fire. Yet we knew that wasn't a fight we could win. We jumped inside our car and floored it. We drove all the way from Moscow to St. Petersburg that night, staying at one of the hotels near the road.
Oh, so they ran.
The evening of that night made all of us quit. All except Roman. He was found scorched inside his car 3 months later.
Oh.
While the police thought that it was an attack of a competing gang, the three of us knew that wasn't the case. We knew that Roman alone was struck down by the righteous fury of a man whose faith alone kept him alive no matter what. The righteous
Interesting.
fury of a man whose cross he wanted to take away. I've never met that man again.
Again.
Perhaps it was because I've
I don't
decided
know
to
what I'm
repent
trying to do. I'm
and
just
lead a more honest
moving
life.
with it.
I've worked at the factory for a few years, and when things started to look up, I even started my own business with the money I've saved up from my previous, less honest life. But yesterday, I saw that man again.
Oh.
Not on the street, no. Those eyes, full of ire, looked into mine from the screen of my computer. It was that mad look I recognized. Not even the face. No, he shaved the beard since that time he was photographed. But the eyes stayed the same. The eyes that stare at you with anger and contempt. The eyes of a man who's lived through all of the hardships of the last century, clinging to his faith alone. The eyes of the man whom so many have tried to kill. Yet none of them succeeded.
Huh. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely would not have guessed that. I don't think that was a very scary story. It sounds like the type of story that my grandmother would tell if she's trying to be scary, you know? Because it goes back to, oh, your faith is going to keep you alive. So that was interesting. Definitely not my favorite. I don't think I would retell it if I was telling scary stories, so... Interesting. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay.
If addiction addiction, traumas, and mental health.
Anything. I was 10 every morning when I first met.
Bring your
Okay,
family
here
to
we go.
discover events and borrow books, music, games, and more. All for free. Stop by your neighborhood branch today or explore more at anythink.org/welcome.
I was 10 years old when I first met the being who would haunt me for the rest of my life.
A
Growing
being.
up, my
Okay.
father spent long days away, toiling away at his construction job, giving me free reign of the house. He'd entrusted me with a key, which every morning before school, I'd slip under a flower pot by the front step and use to get in.
That's so
My
stupid.
friends thought I was living every kid's dream, and in a way, I was. When I got home, I would either kick off my shoes at the front door and bounce off to go watch cartoons, or go outside and play in the front lawn until the bright, suburban
Hi.
days darkened into a misty orange haze. It was on that day when I found myself indoors, watching reruns of my favorite cartoons, when I felt a sudden presence on my bladder. Shifting a large bowl of popcorn off my lap, I headed upstairs to the bathroom. Just as I was turning the corner on the landing, I saw her. She was wearing what had once been a long white summer dress, now torn and smeared a reddish-brown with colour. Her stomach seemed to have been scooped out, to the point a shaft of light from the window behind her shone through her exposed flesh.
Oh crap, that is
Intestines
graphic.
trailing down past her knees like some macabre bridal train. Her hair fell over her pale face in ropey, dishevelled strands, almost completely obscuring it, pale limbs twitching at her sides as she blocked my way. There was something static about her presence, as if she was about to fade out of existence at any moment. Her head tilted up to look at me with a throaty groan.
Oh, this is my
She
actual
wore
eye
the
color.
saddest expression I'd ever seen, that even now I find myself struggling to describe. It was as if she was seeing a whole world crumble around her. Of course, I responded the way any typical child would, by running screaming from my house and into the safety of a bemused next-door neighbors who promptly called the cops. They searched every inch of the house, but they couldn't find any sign of a break-in. My hysterical state didn't do anything to aid their questions. I tried to describe what I'd seen to them, but my words came out as tangled, sobbing gibberish. My father was even less understanding when he arrived home from a long day to find blue flashing lights in the driveway and police officers swarming the house.
Oh, I bet that sucked.
Believing it to be a prank, he offered them a lengthy apology. After exhausting all other options, the police came to that conclusion too, and after giving a stern warning to me about the misuse of emergency services, they left me to deal with the inevitable fallout. I had made a feeble attempt to explain what I'd seen to him, but he wasn't in the mood to hear it. He just sent me to bed after a few gruff, angry words, which seemed to comprise most of our interactions back then. It was as if he couldn't
Daddy
stand me being
issues.
around.
Oh,
In the end, I stopped trying to tell him. I knew he'd never believe me. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking that the second I closed my eyes, I would feel her bony hands wrap around my ankles and drag me into the endless darkness beneath my bed. But as dawn peeked through my blinds, and there was no sign of her, I found myself heaving a heavy sigh of relief. I resigned her to my nightmares, where she would stay for a very long time.
alright, okay.
As I shuffled out of my room in my pajamas to go downstairs and get some breakfast, I found myself face to face with her, a few feet from where I'd originally seen her on the landing, just hovering there. I remember the steady pulse of my heart halting in my chest, the bleary-eyed ennui of the morning replaced by dry-mouthed terror, the kind that few people ever experience in their lives. It was to become a familiar feeling for the next few years. Whenever I seemed to turn, she was there. When I climbed up the stairs,
Imagine your
would always be waiting
stalker
at the
being a
top,
ghost.
looking down at me.
It's
Her
crazy.
head would poke out from behind doorways, fingers coiled around the wooden frame. Soon, it wasn't just the house I saw her in anymore. From my seat in the school bus, I would see her staring out the front porch, not far from my stop.
Literally a
No
stalker
matter
as a
where I
ghost
was,
stalker.
she was there. Every Christmas, every birthday, just hovering out of my peripheral vision. There was no escape. As well as her, I found myself haunted by a single question. Why? Why me?
Maybe she just wants a friend.
I didn't understand why she chose to haunt me. Of all the billions of children in the world,
Well, maybe she
what
wants
have
a
I
friend.
done wrong to deserve this?
Befriend the ghost.
Surely there were worse kids out there who deserve something like this.
It's not a punishment. You should be friends with the
She knew the
ghost.
answers. They remained sealed away behind her silent lips. It was
Did you
one
paint?
night
I did
when was
not. I bought
12,
that.
when I had been woken by a soft humming that filtered into my ears. It was a wordless melody I could almost swear I'd heard before, but so far back that I couldn't remember anything else. Ragged fingernails encrusted with black, dried blood combed through my scalp.
Oh,
In my hazy state between consciousness and sleep, I'd taken it to be a dream.
well, that's
I found
terrifying.
myself leaning into the invisible hand that cradled my face like a starving man who had just found food. I never realized until that moment how long it had been since someone had held me.
Oh, that's so
Any
sad.
interactions with my father consisted of general talk. Physical contact was non-existent. In the faint crack of light that streamed through my half-open door, I made out the shrouded figure seated on the edge of my bed. I could have died right then and there.
Oh,
In all the time she'd haunted me, she never seemed to violate the sanctity of my room. I thought that it was the one place I'd be safe from her. Now, here she was, just inches away. I found myself paralyzed by fear.
maybe she's
The
trying to keep you
slightest
safe.
shift in weight would morph her caressing fingers into claws that would skewer my skull. My ears picked up on a soft melody, one I soon realized was coming from her, wheezed out through fluid-drowned lungs, one that seemed vaguely familiar. She pulled herself closer until she was inches over me. My overworked heart felt seconds away from a coronary as her hum filled my ears. I couldn't take it anymore. I exploded from the covers and took off running down the hallway, propelled by pure animal instinct. I just wanted to get away, as far away from her as possible. The floor lifted from my feet, and I found myself flung forward into the dark void,
Oh,
impacting on several edges before my limp body rolled to a stop at the bottom of the stairs. Despite the pain searing through my
did he just
sprained
get
shoulder,
thrown by a
I tried to
ghost?
steady myself to my feet. And I
Scary
saw the
stories.
female
Scary
outline
Reddit
that
stories.
materialized at the very top of the staircase. My heart plummeted into the pits of my stomach, my sobs mixing with terrified breaths as I rolled around in a desperate attempt to regain balance. She hovered down towards me, as weightless as air, arms wide and reaching for me.
Just got chucked by a ghost.
There was no way I was going to get out of this.
Oh,
She finally had me.
oh, oh no.
The lights exploded on upstairs, and the figure vanished into thin air. My pajama-clad father thundered down the steps. As soon as I saw the exhausted rage on his face, I found myself wishing for her return. Due to his
Aww.
job depending on physical alertness,
He is
my
cooked.
father prioritized a good night's sleep above anything else. No matter what happened, he would always be in bed by 9. Whenever something awoke him, he would be like an angry bear. That night, he had enough. He wrenched me up by the shoulders and started dragging me upstairs. Not wanting to face her again, I tried with every ounce of strength in my body to resist. But with him being at least twice my weight
Is there any
height,
reference to your
I
makeup?
was little
No,
more
I'm
than
really
air
just,
to him.
I'm just
He
messing
jabbed a
around.
stubbed finger into the darkness of the corner, shoving me out. There, he snapped, spittle spraying out. Look, there's nothing there. No ghost, nothing. As soon as I blinked, she was there, staring out at me with those same dark, mournful eyes, her pale form caked with gore. I was so transfixed with my own terror that I didn't realize that my father had gone quiet.
Oh my
Her face
gosh.
changed with the sight of my father.
His dad sees
Her
it
thin lips
too.
pursing, as if she was about to say something. My father froze where he stood, arms still extended out towards the spot where she was standing. though his face remained as stern as ever. The
Where are you
blood had
from?
drained,
I shall not
leaving his
share that.
complexion marble-like. As I squinted closer, I saw trembles in his hands. Just as randomly as she
Ooh,
had
he's
phased into
scared.
existence, the bleeding woman was gone. My father heaved out a breath, the colour returning to his cheeks. I reached the trembling hand towards him, but he shrugged his bulky form away. "Bed," he muttered gruffly. I shuffled into my room with my head bowed, flinching as his own door slammed behind me. I knew better than to disobey his orders. I clambered back into bed, burying myself as deep as I could.
Hold up, he just sent his kid back to bed after they both saw the ghosts? Hold up. So if there's a ghost, they both saw it and he just sent his kid back to bed? Not talking about it, not like, "Oh, do you want to go spend the night at, like, your grandparents' house or something? Or, like, a neighbor's house?" No, he's just like, "Here, go back to bed." What the heck? Like, he was literally just yelling at his kid about how there isn't a ghost. And then he sees it, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna admit I was wrong. Instead, I'm gonna force you to go back to bed and pretend like nothing happened." What the heck? That's an awful father right there.
Beneath the covers, so that she wouldn't find me. But the relief of sleep never came. The moment replayed over in my head. He had seen her too. The subsequent morning at the breakfast table had been spent in tight-lipped silence, with both of us refusing to acknowledge what had transpired the previous night.
Oh.
School and work had been a welcome reprieve for the both of us, as we had lost ourselves in the safe monotony of everyday routine, where ghosts and things that went bump in the night didn't exist. A week after it had happened, I had come home from school when a series of heavy footsteps from above had shaken small fragments of plastic
Oh.
from the ceiling.
I'm so sorry.
My already taxed heart thundered into overdrive, mind consumed with images of a hideous visage. The distant sound of a male clearing his throat from upstairs shattered my fear. Dad? What was he doing home so early?
That's not his dad, is it?
Against my better reasoning,
It's not his dad,
I
is it?
tiptoed up the stairs, wincing at the slightest creak that might give away my presence. I heard him trot around behind the half-closed bedroom door. Through the half-open door,
Maybe he's trying to
my
get
father
rid of the
seated
ghost.
himself on the bed, the mattress beneath groaning in protest. A bottle of wine was gripped in one hand, along with something silver-lined and rectangular in the other. But what I saw in there had me frozen where I stood. He was crying.
Oh?
In all the time I'd known him, my father had been a rock.
Oh!
A brick had once fallen from a scaffold at work and shattered his leg. He had barely even flinched. But there he was.
He's
Tears
crying!
rolling down his cheeks and soaking into his open palms. From the bleary, reddened state of his eyes, he looked like he had been doing it for a few hours.
Aww.
A strange sympathy washed over me. I knew I was looking at something I wasn't supposed to. Something so much deeper than I could ever understand. I slunk away from the door and left my father to weep himself into an inebriated sleep.
That's sad.
I found myself pulled back to the room, feeling bold enough to creak open the door and sneak into the room. My father lay sprawled on the bed, the half-down bottle of wine still gripped in his hand, his broad chest shaking with thunderous snores. Clutched to his chest was the elusive silvery object, the one that had piqued my magpie fascination.
Maybe it's a photo.
I slid it out from my father's
Whoa,
hands,
hold up.
just softly enough.
Okay, I'm gonna make a guess here. I think that what he's about to see his father holding is gonna be a photo, and it's gonna be a photo of maybe a sister or a family member of some sort. That's what it's gonna be a picture of, and it's gonna be the ghost girl. That's my guess. That's what I think is gonna
Did
happen.
not stir him. although eliciting a murmured snore. I had taken a step back, holding it upwards towards a light that streamed in through the adjacent bedroom window. My father smiled back at me from the photograph within the frame, younger and clean-shaven.
Okay.
He was dressed in an immaculate black suit with a knife in hand that was half sunk into the top tier of a wedding cake,
Knife.
adorned with ribbon flowers. He stood, surrounded by similarly dressed people, their faces obscured by the camera flash. It was only when I shifted my hand that I saw the figure beside him in a trailing white dress, her face obscured by my thumb.
I think I guessed it.
When I lifted the picture up to inspect it, my heart stopped mid-beat. Next to my father, her gloved hand clutched tight in his, was the woman who had haunted me for years.
I called it. I knew it. I knew
Her
it.
dark hair was pinned up in a bun, half squinting into the camera with a deliriously happy grin on her face.
Oh, I knew it.
The red she was splattered in was nowhere to be seen, just pure white. The simple lace trim she wore only accentuated her effervescent beauty. I had never seen such adoration on anyone's face before in the way my father looked at her.
Aw.
It was as if he was staring at the very source of his life.
Maybe that's why he's so,
My lip
like,
trembled
cone-
as the grim realization hung
stone-
over me.
stone cold
I
because he
turned
lost
to the
his wife.
half-open doorway and saw her hovering there, her mouth fallen in a downturned crescent. Only now,
Aw.
I understood her expression and the deep sadness ingrained in it.
Wait, that's so sad.
I found the rest out later. My mother had been just a week away from her due date when a similarly pregnant neighbour had invited her over to have some old baby clothes of hers. My mother, having always prided herself on being a thrifter, had jumped at the chance. Only
You heard a
it
noise in
didn't
your
have
room. Oh
any
no.
baby
Hi.
clothes. Just a pair of scissors. That same neighbour would turn up to the emergency ward 2 hours later with my bloodied newborn self in her arms, claiming to have given birth. But a quick examination by the doctors showed that the uterus and ovaries that were still attached to me, along with a half-severed umbilical cord, weren't hers. In court, she claimed that she was afraid her husband was going to leave her, so she faked a pregnancy. But as the date of delivery approached, she realized that she needed a baby, by any means necessary. The police found my mother in the basement. Her body had been stuffed into a trash bag, stewing in her own congealing blood.
Oh my
She had
god.
been ripped open from the crotch to sternum, her innards pulled past her knees, but her slashed,
Oh.
rigor mortis stiffened hands were still protectively clutching around her belly. Nearly every part of her was slathered with red,
Oh.
except for 2 clear streaks running down the sides of her face. The only reason my father hadn't been with her was because he was out buying a crib that he'd been saving up for months to put in the nursery they'd been decorating together.
So
He
sad.
wanted to surprise her. He'd never blamed me for her death, not for one moment. After the sentence had been passed, my father had moved me away from the media furore that surrounded the case,
Oh my
and spent
god.
the first few years of my life moving from town to town, determined to keep me from ever finding out the grim story of how I had come into this world.
That's so sad.
So, when I started ranting on about a lady covered in blood in the house, it had scared him more than anything. The night she appeared before
Aw.
him convinced him it hadn't just been the overactive imagination of a lonely child. After that day, his whole demeanor changed. He'd become softer with me. We started talking together, even laughing. It was as if some deity had overheard my childhood wish for a father who cared.
Oh my gosh. This is so
Never forgave
sad.
himself for not going with her.
But happy at the same
He
time.
kept on drinking, and eventually, cirrhosis took him while I was in my first year of university. He'd never
Aw.
been so small before. His wizened, bald head peeking up from the draping covers. He looked so frail, having aged what looked like 20 years in just a few. His withered hand clasped mine, and he smiled over my shoulder at the empty corner of the hospital room. "We made a great kid, didn't we, Angie?" he remarked.
Oh, that's so sad.
I didn't have to turn around to see who he was addressing. She was already there.
Aw.
She'd always been. Despite the agony of the last few months of his life, my father had died smiling. That was 5 years ago. Although my grief has lessened with the passage of time, I still try to live my life for both of them, especially my mother. Whenever I see that pale, dark-haired figure glancing out from behind a corner or behind me whenever I'm confronted with a reflective surface, there's no more spine-prickling fear, nor any heart palpitations. Instead, I feel home. Sometimes I
Wait,
get
that's
angry at
really
myself
sweet.
that it took so long for me to figure it out. She never wanted to hurt me. All she had ever wanted to do was hold me, like any mother would. And I ran away from her.
Oh.
No wonder she wept. She still comes at night to sing to me. I don't flinch away whenever a broken hand tussle my hair. Instead, letting a warbling lullaby wash over me and send me into blissful darkness.
Aw.
There was a time where I would have given everything that I owned to never see her again. Now, I beg her to stay. No matter how much I wish for it to be otherwise, by the time the morning streams through my half-closed blinds, she's long since disappeared from this world. But my eyes always still burn with tears.
Wait, that was really sad. That was really sad.
It was the same dream of an
It was a good story, but that's kind of sad. It's not scary. That's so precious. Aw.
for years.
Okay, starting
The
another
rain
one.
pelting off the top of my Honda. The darkness around my headlights as black as ink. The ZZ Top song still playing from the speakers. The mansion on the hill still occupied with a single lit window. I was too terrified to comprehend what had happened.
But it was kind of
What was
cute.
around me? Normally, that would be the part where I slung open the door and got out. But this particular dream ended as soon as I engaged the door handle. I found myself waking up with a headache, similar to a dull throb that trailed a night of drinking. Only, I hadn't had a drop in years. It wasn't my sight that first alerted me to the foreign atmosphere. My skin felt fuzzy. It tickled even. I lay prone on the thick, beige carpet of a room. The walls were painted lilac and were bare. This was not my room. Through my headache fog, I spotted a door and tried to get up. Once on my haunches, I took in the rest.
Bye.
Above was a simple ceiling fan. On one wall was a window with thick blackout curtains closed shut. In a far corner stood a massive stuffed animal in an orange jumpsuit. Next to that was a tall dresser.
Stuffed animal in an orange
Closer to
jumpsuit.
me was a nightstand with an unopened bottle of bourbon on top. Opposite the nightstand was a twin-sized bed adorned with a thick comforter and a mound of colourful throw pillows. I couldn't remember where I was or how I'd gotten there. Nothing was familiar. I used the wall for stability and rose to my feet when the mound of pillows started to move. Out from the comforter slipped a man. He rolled off the bed and into the floor, moaning and clutching his salt and pepper hair. His headache must have been worse than mine. I
Is your
retreated
drink
to the
swig?
door.
It's downstairs.
The knob refused to twist, so I pulled the door with all my might. The door didn't budge. During my efforts, the man had found his composure and grew startled upon the sight of me. "What the hell is this?" he said as he sat on the bed. "Who the hell are you?" "Look, man, I just want to leave. The door won't open." "Why did you bring me here? Who the hell?" "I didn't bring you here," I shouted. "I woke up in here, just like you." The man clutched his head again. Is this some kind of joke?" "It's not very funny if it is. Do you know what's going on?" He gave me a baleful look. "What's your name?" "Chris. You?" "All right, Chris," he said, then spat on the carpet. "Let's say I believe you're as confused as I am. How long have you been awake?" "Not long. I'm telling the truth. I don't know what's going on." The man looked away and looked in the room as I had. Only, His expression was more emotional, giving away his misgivings about the place. His head pivoted from side to side, his breathing sped up, eyes swelling with tears. The man was rugged, muscles under tanned skin, a back-a-day smoker voice. It's strange that a man this burly would get flustered so easily. The door's locked, but maybe we can get out through the window. He got his eyes to me, wiping his wet cheeks. Who the hell are you? I told you, my name is Chris. No, I mean, who are you? How do you know me? I've never seen you before, man. Honest. The man rose from the bed and approached me. His eyes were pale, and a thin scar went from his chin.
Okay, so recap. Both of these guys woke up somewhere and they don't know where they are. And one of them's really emotional, the other guy's just confused. They don't know each other. And there are only two of them. So, okay. I don't know what's going to happen. I think this must be another paranormal story. Because why in the world would two people just wake up somewhere? Unless they were both kidnapped. That might be a possibility. But I'm leaning more towards the paranormal aspect. That's probably more likely, in my opinion. That's just what I think. So, that's what I think is going to happen.
To his throat.
We'll see.
It was only after he turned away to fit it with a doorknob.
I'll show my Jinx wig eventually. It's just in the basement. Or it's downstairs and I don't feel like going and getting it. So, I'll show it off at
My
one point.
confusion of the situation had turned into fear. Damn, he said, after no luck with the door. He went to the window and drew open the thick curtains. What the hell? Daylight had been replaced with pitted concrete. There wasn't even glass for a window.
Huh.
The man and I stared at the grey rectangle for a while, dumbfounded. Whoever put us in the room wanted us to stay there. After some deliberation,
Maybe it
we
is a
tried 3 attempts at
kidnapping
freedom.
situation.
First, we took turns slamming our shoulders and feet into the door to no avail.
Why would that work?
Next, the man tapped around for studs in the walls. But when nothing sounded promising, he tried to punch through.
Oh, why
However,
would you do
The
that?
walls were solid wood, so his knuckles started to bleed.
Why would you do
The
that?
last attempt unsettled me the most, as it displayed my roommate's sheer strength. He lifted me above his head while I punched the ceiling for weak spots. In the end, we were still trapped, both of us mending bloody knuckles. We decided to ponder some more. Know
Ponder.
anything about that teddy bear? I asked.
Right, there's a teddy bear in the
Also,
corner.
he did a stint in prison, the man said with a chuckle. How so? That orange jumpsuit, prison attire. None of this makes sense. We need some time to think. Seems we have all the time in the world, buddy. I paced around the room and leafed through possible reasons for our capture, ricocheting ideas off one another to think of a solution to the problem.
I wonder how old these people are.
The room was unfamiliar to me. Whoever put me in here did so with cruel intent. After a few minutes, the man sat on the bed and I slumped down by the front door. When I did, I heard a crinkle. Check your pockets, I said, and fished out a scrap of paper from my own.
Huh.
He did the same and found the same. Both scraps in verbiage of font style. I read it aloud. It cuts the air, gives more comfort than shade, and it does all of this with a spin of a blade. A riddle? I asked incredulously.
Wait.
So, this is a bloody joke.
Okay, I think that they got kidnapped, and now they're being put in an escape room type thing by somebody who's really psycho, you know? I think that the pocket that they found, because if they both woke up in there, then it's a possibility that they were kidnapped, like they were put to sleep and then kidnapped, you know? So I think that if they were put to sleep and kidnapped, and then they woke up in there, then they're going to have to try to escape, and it's gonna be like an escape room, you know? That's the vibe. Those are the vibes I'm getting. I was thinking it was gonna be paranormal, but I don't think so anymore.
I mulled it over in my mind before figuring it out. The man must have done the same, because we looked up at the same time. He stood on the bed, his boots lost in the thick rolls of fabric, and tried to rip the ceiling fan from its brackets.
Oh.
Like the door, it didn't budge. Try the blades, I said. He moved his hand along the top of each blade. Dust fell like snow with each wipe, but on the last blade, a scrap of paper fell.
It
I
is.
fetched it and read it aloud. A bottle of brown may turn the night red. 2 drunks under watch, but only one fled.
Interesting.
The man spoke to me, but I wasn't paying him attention. Could the riddle mean what I thought? I looked at the scrap of paper, tracing the words with my eyes and memory, reciting the riddle in my head, before stuffing it in the pocket with my other. What? I asked. Sorry, I didn't hear you. I said the answer to that riddle is simple too. The bottle of bourbon had already been lifted from the nightstand and was being uncorked with ease. He tipped the bottle back and pursed his lips. Wait, I shouted. What? It could be, I don't know, poison or something.
We do got a smart
He
thinker here.
smelt it, shrugged. It's all poison.
It's a whole point. Yeah, fair
He
enough.
took a long pull. And
No,
his
my
face
pet
puckered
pet
and the
snake's
bottle
at my
was
dad's
lifted
house.
from his mouth. He
I'm
preferred
at
it to
my
me,
mom's.
but I shook my head. I don't drink. You don't drink? Sober for years. Ah, he said with a laugh. A married man? No, I'm not married. Sobriety is a personal choice. I got carried away for a while, so I stopped. He took another long pull and set the bottle back on the nightstand. Boozing is a personal choice for me too, Chris. Well, it was. Before...
Before what?
Never mind.
Before
What the
what?
hell are we going to do now? I stepped around the bed and picked up the bottle. I was investigating for anything noteworthy on the Wild Turkey label when the man introduced himself. I'm Anson, by the way. Sorry
Oh, and
if I
then
was
he
being such a
finally
hard ass
introduces
earlier.
himself now?
I rotated the bottle under the ceiling fan light. Understandable, given the situation, man. You seem like an okay guy, Chris. So, I'll shoot it to you straight. I haven't been completely honest with you. For a second, I thought about how hard it would be to use the bourbon bottle as a weapon if necessary. Oh, really? How so? When I woke up, I couldn't believe it. He looked over the room again. It's not exactly the same, but it's close. I don't understand, I said, going back to my investigation of the label. Whoever the hell put this in here must have some kind of vendetta against me. You see, this room looks eerily similar to my daughter's room. Your daughter's room?
Oh.
Why would someone do that? I asked, then found a phrase on the label that had been circled with a red pen. Goddamn question. I don't know why someone would drag my daughter into this. She's been dead for 3 years. I'm sorry to hear that. That's
That
awful.
is a plot twist.
He stared at his feet. If there's a singular moment in my life that changed everything, it would have been that. The late-night call from the deputy, the coroner's office, my wife, well, ex-wife now, wailing when they drew back the sheet. Time doesn't heal all wounds, you know. I understand that more than you know. He looked up and I met his eyes. Nice to meet you, Anson, by the way. So, here is some good news. I found something circled on the bottle. Here. Anson turned the bottle over. It's the Wild Turkey slogan. Crafted with conviction. Mean anything to you? Doesn't mean anything to me. His gaze stuck to the corner of the room. He pointed. You think? Conviction. Like a convict. I dashed to the teddy bear, donning the orange prisoner jumpsuit.
That's why the teddy
Obviously,
bear
I
has a
captured a sense of
jumpsuit on.
humor. I picked the fluffy toy up by the head and inspected the front. back and under the paws. Nothing. Shake it, Anson said. It did nothing. Give it here. I tossed Anson the bear.
Ooh.
He held it up close to his chest. Then, with a plush arm in each hand, ripped the bear in half.
Oh.
Polyester stuffing erupted out and littered the bedspread. Anson sifted through the white fluff before he lifted a scrap of paper from the largest wad. He unrolled it and read it aloud. My effects it holds, your effects it conceals. Open the drawer to see what it reveals. The dresser, I shouted, and ran to the large piece of furniture. I rolled back the top drawer, empty. The second, empty. Each one I opened was bare. Just a few pieces of wood nailed together to form shallow shafts of answerless drawers. By that time, Anson was hunched over my shoulder, eagerly anticipating some clue for our inevitable predicament. His reply for each empty slot was a curse word. Then, I pulled the bottom one. When I glided open the bottom drawer, I saw something inside, but Anson's head disappeared from my peripheral. I turned to find him on his knees, digging into the shallow storage area before lifting a pleated orange and blue cloth. He brought the cloth up and sank into his face. He began to sob.
Aww.
What is it, Anson? His large hand unfolded the cloth and he stretched it out. It was a cheerleader uniform. I could hear him sniffing behind the name of the local high school. My daughter, he managed to get out. It's my daughter's uniform.
Oh my gosh.
How? I mean, how the hell did this get here? My head began to pound. Was this really happening? I wanted to run, to escape this potential danger. Even though this stranger was knelt under me, I could see that his wide shoulders housed muscles from decades at the gym. He was getting frantic, paranoid. Had he been lying to me? Were things becoming clear to Anson? Was the puzzle coming together for him? Yet he refused to educate me on his clarity. Did he know something that I didn't? I thought you said your daughter died. She did. It was after a football game. She was on the cheerleading squad, you see. After the game, she and her boyfriend drove to one of the local spots to have a bonfire with some friends. On the way, they had a big fight, and she demanded to be let out of the car. The boyfriend, a piece of crap, got all mad and left her on the side of the road. That asshole. Anson twisted the uniform so hard, it squeaked. By the time he turned back, he found her dead on the side of the road. I had to steady myself with the top of the dresser.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh my God, that's terrible. Police weren't any help. Personally, I think the boyfriend did it. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it wasn't. He was a piece of crap. His whole family too. Lawyered up real fast. Amanda had a ton of boyfriends, but he was the worst. There was a spark from him. Something in his expression changed, and he looked up at me. Anson extended a finger. How the hell do you fit into all this, huh? Who are you? Anson, calm down. I told you, I'm Chris. I know you're Chris. All this stuff we keep finding about Amanda. Why? I didn't realize I was withdrawing until my back was prodded by the doorknob. I don't know. Honest. I've never met Amanda. He crumpled to the floor, a cheerleader uniform clutched to his chest. He wailed like a pained father. A father that had potential memories of graduations, a wedding announcement, and grandchildren stolen from him.
Aww.
A father who would never get to hug his daughter again.
This is pretty
He leaned
sad,
his head
actually.
on one of the jutting drawers, which caused the tall dresser to sway, unbalanced. I wanted to touch his shoulder, to tell him everything would work out, that we would get out of here. But I was too anxious, too expectant of him to lash out. Instead, I chose to comfort him in a more utilitarian way. Anson, you need to keep going. Don't give
Yeah,
up.
I'm planning to
We
make
need to
videos
find
on
the
this.
next riddle. The tension in his arms loosened. The sobs grew lighter. It was working. You seem like a great father, Anson. I mean it. And Amanda would want you to keep fighting, right? He blotted his eyes with the uniform and hugged it as if it was filled out by his daughter. He opened the skirt portion and inspected the inside of the uniform. Under the neckline, he snatched something, then brandished a strip of paper. He used a thick forearm to wipe away some tears, then read our next clue aloud. Gather them for beauty, or plant a weary head, or perhaps they'll be a weapon for a fight instead.
I'm so
Anson
confused
rose
where
to his
this
feet
story is
and
going.
draped one curtain over his wrist. Beauty or weary head. Curtains can be pretty and can be used to darken a room. Agree? Maybe, I said, searching around the room. What about the bed? He let go of the curtain and we ripped the comforter from the mattress. The throw pillows scattering on the carpet like dandelion seeds in the wind. We peeled off the remaining sheets and bundled them in the corner. Flipping the mattress was easy. Anson practically did it by himself. While he was using brute strength to rip a hole in the mattress fabric, I was corralling the box spring near the door. I too needed some room to start deconstructing. By the time we had finished, it looked as if an avalanche of cotton had spontaneously fallen from the ceiling. Banks of fluff piled against walls, broken pieces of wood and wire from the box spring littered the carpet. Strips of soft fabric were draped over wads of foam. Anson and I were exhausted, more so by the fact that our search ended without success. I crawled to my
What time
usual
is it
spot
there?
by the
It
door,
is
while Anson collected the garish throw pillows
11:11.
and relaxed on them. He reached the nightstand and grabbed the bourbon. After a quick drink, he gave a little laugh. Chris, I'm tired as hell. Me too. My fingers are on fire and my arms feel like taffy. He grunted and his eyes went blank. I swear to God, when I find out who did this, I'm gonna kill him. He looked at me when he said that. I was unsure if it was an accusatory glare or just a natural conversational eye contact. Either way, I knew by his tone he was serious. A rabid dog trapped in a corner would bite anyone, even an innocent owner. I concentrated my efforts to curtail his hostility. What time do you think it is? I asked. Another quick drink. No idea. I have no idea either. But I do know we need to find the next riddle soon. There's no food in here. No water. I'm getting thirsty. Here. He offered me the bottle. Wet your whistle. I'm good. Thanks though. I can barely stay awake as it is. Maybe a nap is in order. Anson took a long pull of the whiskey and returned it to the nightstand. He wiggled on his bed of pillows before finding the most comfortable spot. A nap would be excellent. Maybe some rest will clear out our heads and help us figure out this last riddle. Beauty or weary head, my ass. I'll just rest my weary head on these damn pillows. In a lightning strike of inspiration, we traded glances like we both struck oil at the same time. Anson rolled off the throw pillows, and I trudged over the foam and splinters to his makeshift bed. We used the broken timber to puncture the pillows one by one before ripping them into obscurity. I found the next scrap of paper hidden inside one of the red pillows. I read it aloud. Thick like grass, though it's not mowed. Worn like asphalt, though it's not road. Muffled screams and whispers, it does too. Litter and hair and dirt, it does accrue. I read it several times in a row, hoping the reiteration would bring more clarity. When I brought the paper down, I saw Anson was equally as perplexed. Perhaps it was the confusion, but without a word, we went back to our resting spots. His pillow bed was much more lumpy than before, but judging by the rate at which he drank from the bottle, he didn't mind. I was against the door, thinking about the riddle, about what was left in the room. Anson spoke first. This riddle is longer, harder too. I agree. Thick like grass, though it's not mowed. Grass, like marijuana. You don't mow that. Maybe like syrup or something. Syrup is thick. He scratched his salt and pepper hair. Worn like asphalt, but not a road. A sidewalk, a dirt trail. Litter and hair and dirt. That line is strange. A hairbrush accrues those things, right? What's that part about screams? He asked. I unrolled the paper again. Muffled screams and whispers, it does do. These riddles suck, he said, and took another sip. The poet is no Robert Frost, that's for sure. Worn like asphalt, though it's not a road. What the hell does that mean? Anson got to his feet and took in a mouthful of whiskey. He stumbled a bit and used the nightstand for balance. Look, there isn't much in this room. I say we break everything in here. We're bound to find something after we do that. I agreed.
Yeah,
was ready to leave
okay,
that room.
hold up.
Part ways from that emotional, and now
So it seems like everything they destroy, they find another piece of paper, and that maybe gets them closer to getting out, or maybe it just... I'm assuming it's like an escape room, and that this is going to lead them to their way out of the room, but at the same time, maybe it's just going to lead them to the answer as to why they're in the room, and it won't help them get out at all, you know? So maybe what I'm thinking is if they... because they're planning to just, like, destroy everything, so if they just go to town and break stuff, then they're bound to find more paper. But what if somebody's watching them, you know? What if... hold up. I don't know whether this is... I don't know if this is nail glue or eyelash glue. Maybe it's nail glue? Oh no, there's the nail glue. My bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it's going to lead them to their way out of the room. So if they just go crazy and break stuff, then they're probably going to find another clue. Although I'm still confused. Because if this is all to mock or to torture that one guy because he lost his daughter, then I'm curious... how the other guy has anything to do. Maybe... what if the plot twist is that this guy, the guy who... the narrator is actually the bad guy? What if the narrator's actually the one who put them in that room in the first place? You know? Maybe that's a stretch. I don't know. I'll keep playing it.
drunk man who was distraught from the drizzled memories of his daughter. Anson went to the dresser and began breaking off the pieces while I focused on the nightstand. The stand was simple. I removed the drawer. Empty. I searched the underside, but there was no strip of paper, no additional clue, nothing that got us one step closer to liberty. I inverted the stand so the legs pointed up and plunged my heel into the center. The wood snapped, and I meticulously scoured the debris for a strip of paper or cloth. Anything with words. It was then that I realized the bottle of whiskey was gone. I checked the mound of foam behind me, thinking it must have toppled when I upturned the stand. But to my surprise, I found the bottle, nearly empty, next to Anson, who was ripping up the carpet. The remains of the dresser were beside him. His strength and drunkenness had aided his ability to turn the dresser into matchsticks before I could undo a simple wooden nightstand. Anson gripped the edge of the carpet, pulling it with all his might. There were faint ripping noises in quick succession, and the carpet rose an inch. He re-gripped and continued to pull. "Help me, damn it," he demanded. "What are you doing?" "Carpet. The answer to the riddle might be carpet." I chuckled. You might be right, man. And I found this. Listen. He tapped his heel on the spot on the carpet that was directly beneath where the dresser had stood. Every tab of his boot created a rumbling, crinkling noise. Something's got to be down there, under the carpet. Help me.
He sounds so
I
angry.
clutched another section of carpet and helped him. Between his
He
breaks
is
to
drunk,
finish off the bottom,
so...
of course. We peeled the carpet back, inch by inch, until we had enough to get a proper grip.
Bye-bye.
A few more pulls, and a quarter of the room was carpetless. I heaved it one more time, for good measure, but Anson spotted something and jumped over the coil of rolled carpet. What is it? You found something? I asked as he bent down on the solid concrete foundation. There was a pile of papers on the floor. Clues, more riddles. Some sheets were wrinkled from Anson's boot earlier. From my angle, I couldn't tell what they said, so I sauntered up next to my roommate. His hands were rapidly going from page to page, his movements angry and frantic. My next step gave me an angle to see over his shoulder. It wasn't more riddles. It was piles of photographs. What? Anson whispered to himself. What is this? What the hell? What? I managed to pick one up. Let me see if I can... He was on me before I could say anything. I didn't get a good look at the photograph, but I didn't need a good look. I knew what they showed. One of Anson's large palms tightened around my collar, and he slammed me into the wall beside the sunless window. In his other hand were photographs. He waved them around, slapping my forehead with them. Tunnel vision ensued and trapped me in the past. Suddenly, all the clues made sense. 3 years ago, I was driving my Honda Accord down a secluded highway, lined with affluent homes across a bluff. It was late, and I was beyond drunk. A habit that had landed me 2 DUIs and a broken marriage.
Oh my gosh, did he
That
kill
night, I
his
swerved
daughter?
and rolled into the shoulder more times than I could count, doing my best to follow the dotted line. There were no street lamps, so the darkness outside my headlights was as black as ink. I fished for my phone and turned on a ZZ Top song. When it started to rain, a sober person would have slowed down. But in my state, with my faculties muted with alcohol and my adrenaline pumping from the music, I sped up. I didn't see her until it was too late. I slammed on my brakes afterwards.
Oh my
I was too
god.
terrified to comprehend what had happened, what was around me. The song still hollering from the speakers. The
Wow.
rain still pelting
That is a
the top
plot
of my
twist.
Honda. But I felt stuck. After gaining my composure, I slung open the door and ran down the asphalt through the pools of water, using my phone light to search. When I found her, it felt like a dream. She was beautiful and young. She was in a cheerleader uniform. There was rain-diluted blood all around. I was drunk, very drunk, but I knew what I did. The Wild Turkey bottle in my car had spilled all over my seat, so I grabbed the bottle and tossed it down the ravine. The rain was hammering so hard, I didn't hear the glass shatter. Then I left her.
Wow.
I hopped in my sedan and took off back the way I came, winding down the road to escape what I had just done. I
Holy cow.
deserved to be in prison, I kept telling my drunk self. I deserve to die for what I did.
That is a
Before
plot
I rounded the
twist.
corner, I saw at the top of the cliff one solitary window lit in a mansion above. It sat prominently on the bluff like a lighthouse. That mansion, that window. I always wondered if they witnessed what I did. And now, seeing that photo, that particular angle, I now
Wow.
know they not only witnessed it, but took detailed photos of the accident, clearly showing my car, the young, lifeless cheerleader, and my face. A face that Anson immediately recognized. I wanted to apologize, to tell
Holy
Anson
cow.
I'm sorry for killing his daughter. It was an accident. I wanted to ask him for forgiveness. None of this was possible because of his grip around my throat. Those tears were coming back, swelling in his eyes before spilling over angry red cheeks. My tunnel vision intensified. My weight sank to the floor. I thought it was the end. Finally, my punishment had come. Then, I felt the empty whiskey bottle beside me. My strike was faster than Anson's drunk reaction. The bottle shattered against his skull, and he fell to the side. I took in 3 deep gulps of air and sprinted to the door. I shouted for help. I shouted to be let out. The only one who answered was Anson. It took me to the ground, and I fell into the remains of the dresser. Splinters and small nails poked my back as Anson wailed against my face with his fists. I felt my nose crunch under the force. Warm blood sprayed like a geyser from my brow. I tried shaking him off, punching him in defense, but his sheer strength kept me in place. By then, Anson was roaring mad, spittle dripping from his scowl. His actions sprang from pure hatred. I groped for something, anything to defend myself. His weight bore heavy on me, and the broke pieces of the dresser started to push deeper into my skin. My face was throbbing, and then my back was on fire. Blood was making it difficult to see. Then, my fingers found a long piece of wood. When Anson rose up and called his arm back for another blow, I shoved the piece of wood into him. I caught him in the neck, and he slipped off of me. Without thinking, I grabbed one of the bedsheets and twisted it into a rope and then anchored it around Anson's neck. He struggled, his massive hands squeezing at my shoes in pleading attempts for me to release my grip. I didn't. When I was sure, I let go. I sobbed after that, but not for long. The window was still barricaded by concrete. The door didn't budge. I was still trapped. I dug through some of the debris on the ground. The foam,
Wow.
fabric, wooden pillows, searching for anything we may have missed. Nothing. I picked up the photographs and studied them with more detail. They were from a professional camera with a high-grade lens that allowed for optimum zoom. I was clearly visible beside my dented Honda. The rain blurred some of the details, but the main focus was clear. A beautiful young woman, now I know her name was Amanda, was lifeless in the asphalt beside me. I scattered the photos. I was furious, lost. But when I grabbed the photos and tossed them around the room, I saw a metal wire running between the foundation and carpet. On the end of the wire was a large loop. Curious, I took the loop and tugged at it. Nothing happened, so I tugged harder. The door creaked open. Past the door, down a dark hallway, then through a heavy steel door. I was outside in the bright midday sun. The
He
vast ocean to
escaped.
my right and meandering hills to my left. But something looked familiar down below. The road. It was the road of my accident 3 years earlier. The
Wow.
one that killed Amanda. I turned around to find I was standing in the yard of a mansion. The one that had a single lit window at night of the accident. Directly behind it, from where I just left, was a modified shipping container. I ran.
Shipping
down the hills,
container.
over a stream, through a neighborhood. I knew I had to get far away before I asked for help. Before someone would lend me a cell phone to call an Uber or cab. I couldn't go to the police, or else it would expose Amanda's death.
Yeah, I was gonna
Along
say,
with
you
the
can't just
fathers.
call 911.
Whoever lived in that house, whoever modified that shipping container for some macabre escape room, knew that whoever survived the...
Okay, but why wouldn't he just turn himself in at this point? If he knows that... Okay, if he was stuck in that shipping container, then there's somebody out there who knows what he did. And if he just keeps running, then that person's gonna find him at some point, and it's gonna get even worse. So why doesn't he just turn himself in at this point? Like, I'm sure it's safer and way smarter than going on the run. Broski, maybe you should stop obsessing over my neighbor. I think you're freaking him out. But yeah, I don't think the person in this story is very smart. So.
Counter would never report it to the authorities. And they were correct. I still have the same dream. The rain pelting the top of my Honda. The darkness around my headlights as black as ink. The ZZ Top song still playing from the speakers. The mansion on the hill still occupied with a single lit window. I'm too terrified to comprehend what's happened, what's around me. Only now, in my dream, that yellow window atop the bluff turns into a spotlight and points to me as I sob in the rain.
Oh, he's
Who
haunted.
controls the spotlight? I will never know.
Well, he's acting as if he's a victim in this, but he literally killed 2 people.
It occurs during periods of high stress from a
Alright.
lack of blood flow to the eyes. If you're lucky, you only get it in one eye. I get it in both. It can last anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. My life was the definition of high stress, and by doctor's orders, I needed to get out and relieve myself. That's how I met Roger and Ron. I'd always wanted
Sure.
to get on a boat, ever since I was a kid. When life takes its twists and turns,
Okay, I
it
don't
sometimes
think
leads you down it.
I don't think I have time to listen to another scary story. So I did just get a song request. So I'm going to play that song request while I glue my last 2 nails on, and then I'm going to end the live. So alright. Here you go, friend. Enjoy. Nothing happened.
Cause I know you're poison, you're feeding me poison. Addicted to this feeling, I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choices. Every night I'm living like there's no tomorrow. Any way you want me, baby, that's the way you got me. I'll be yours. My story's gonna end with me dead from your poison. I got so good at being untrue. I got so good at telling you what you wanna hear. I disassociate, disappear. Yeah. So far beyond difficult to resist another gulp. Yeah, I know it's poison. You're feeding me poison. I'm choking from the taste and I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choices. Every night I'm waiting like there's no tomorrow.
Taste of Ink by The Used. Sure.
Hi, Cody. I mean, Ken. Are you free right now? I have a song that I need you on.
Is it worth the can you even hear me?
Alright, hold up. My girlfriend's yelling at me for going to work more often and I need some advice. How might she be feeling? Can you help? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn this a bit down. So, if she's yelling at you for not being with her, okay. So, if she's yelling at you for going to work more often, then maybe she's upset that you're not spending enough time with her. So, maybe plan a date. You want to plan a date for her where y'all are like one-on-one time. I think that would help. That's just my idea. Yeah. Aw, she moved away? That sucks. Okay, I think the nails are done. Speaking of girlfriend, I need to text mine. She texted me earlier and I forgot to respond. So, I gotta respond to my boo. I don't want to leave her on delivered. Doing ASMR. Nail tap. Yeah, hold up. Hold up. I would die if I had nails on this often, though. I think I'm only going to keep these on for a week. This is only my second time having long nails, ever. I'm not the type to have long nails. I work on a farm, so it's not like I can. So, yeah. Change is good. Yeah, I like it. I don't know the Used, but I like the song. Yeah, I liked the song. Bird and Worm is another good song. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Bird and... No, not bored. Bird. Nope. Bird. Yes. And the worm. Okay. How do you sleep with that on? I don't. I don't. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that song. Just added it to my playlist. Thank you for the suggestion. I do have to wash it off. It is actually only 11:45 where I am. Yes, I can sing. Would you like me to? I gotta find a song that I can sing along to. Oh, this is a sweet song. Alright, I'll sing this one for you. Okay. Strawberry stained fingertips, chain smoking, binge watching Netflix, bike grease in my hair, blood on your jeans, blisters on your feet, huge head full of teeth. I can't go that low. In a California drought, the smell after the thunderstorm that knocked the power out. Switch up some handlebars, I wanna die with honest scars. If they don't like we are delay, then fuck 'em. And I stayed up, chain smoking in the kitchen till you got home, and the curtains were on fire. Fuck, I'm sorry if you feel alone, watching TV and the shadows on my face, hitching back to the apartment. It was such a lonely place. I placed my head beneath my knees and think, do you ever feel nights like these, so separated from my sense of self? You keep up on your bookshelf. Happy day in hell. So I just take another sip. I keep falling off and muting shit and forgetting to unclip. The sun will rise another time. For now it's you and me and I don't know the lyrics very well. The flea bites laid out on my wrist ahead. Handlebars etched. Our bodies out on my back porch. My brain is fucking somewhere else. On the roof with the flags we torched. And I stayed up, chain smoking in the kitchen till you got home, and the curtains were on fire. Fuck, I'm sorry if you feel alone. With the shadows in my face, hitching back to the apartment. It was such a lonely place. I placed my head between my knees and think, do you ever feel nights like these, so separated from my sense of self? Should you keep up on your bookshelf? Whew. Oh, I love that song. I gotta find another one for you. Happy Day in Hell. Ooh, I don't know that song. Hold up. Happy Day. Oh.
I can do this.
Oh, okay, maybe. I'll try.
I'll get heaven behind my plan. Charlie,
Okay, hold up. I don't know the lyrics, so I'm gonna have to pull them up. Okay, here we go. I don't know how it goes. Change their minds and touch their hearts whenever angels have. Can you sing Power? By who?
Something tells me that today will be a happy
Day in hell. Okay, wait. There's a warm and fuzzy feeling that wafts through the air. Every street so revealing, it's hard not to stare. It's a realm so appealing, it beats everywhere. You don't mind the smell. It's a happy happy day in hell. Yeah, okay. I think that's all I can do because I don't know the words to it. Okay. So you said the song name is Power. Is it by Little Mix? Is this it? Is that the song? I'm a machine when I do it. I'll be catching fire gasoline when I do it. Is that the song? Is that the correct song? Because there are multiple songs called Power. So I hope this is the right one. Okay. Yeah. Yes, but sing it from You're the Man. Oh, okay. Okay, I have to be quiet because my family's asleep. Baby, you're the man. I got the power. You make rain, but I make it shower. You should know I'm the one who's in control. I let you come take the wheel, long as you don't forget. I got the power. I got the power. I got the power. My turn. I make this look easy. Tick tick boom like gasolini. Yeah, they call me Lamborghini cause I know just what I'm worth. Is it 0 to 100? Body, make them stutter to start making. Cause I know they're coming first. I'm a machine when I do it. I'll be catching fire gasoline when I do it. Just cause you got your pocket whoops outside, that'll be I'm never gonna take your head down, baby. You're the man. I got the power. You make rain. I'll make it shower. You should know I'm the one who's in control. I'll let you come take the wheel, long as you don't forget. I got the power, I got the power. 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 Okay. Yeah, I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Wait, do I? I might. Okay. Oh, I know this part. Oh man, I got the power. You make rain. I'll make it shower. You should know I'm the one who's in control. We'll see if I can do this. As long as you don't forget, I got the power. You make rain. I'll make it shower. You should know I'm the one who's in control. I'll let you go take the wings. You don't forget. Oh, oh. There you go. Oh. All right. Any other requests before I end the live? Alright. Any other song requests before you gotta go anyways? Alright. I'm glad you joined. Okay. Glad you came. Bye. All right. So before I can take like one or two more song requests before I end the live, because it's almost midnight where I am. So we got, if I don't have a request, then I'm just gonna end the live, but we'll see. Okay. Alrighty, it's not looking like I'm getting any requests, so I might just end the live. Give it about 20 more seconds, see if anybody has a request before I end. Alright. Doesn't look like there are any more requests coming through. Beautiful genetics. Oh, thank you. Backstreet Boys? That's a new one. Hold up. Specific song by Backstreet Boys? Backstreet Boys, there she goes. Okay, hold up. No? Not that one? There she, okay. There she goes, by who? Who's that by? I don't know that song, so... Is it by The Law, or is it by Benson Boone? Because those are the two options I'm getting. Alright. So I don't know that song. The Laws? Okay, hold up. There she goes again. Yeah, I don't know that one. I can't sing along to it if I don't know it. My bad. I will. I'm so sorry. Can you play I Will Be Okay after this? Yeah, by who? Who's it by? I will be okay. It's a podcast? Got a bright day tomorrow. It's a podcast. I'm not seeing any. You're new to the stream. Hi, welcome. I'm not seeing any podcasts called I Will Be Okay. Hello, my beautiful girlfriend. Welcome to the live. Okay. I will play Sailor Song for you. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Alright, sleep well. Okay. Alright. I gotta yawn first. Hold up. Whew. I'm gonna change this to purple. Hold up. I saw her in the widest way, looking like Anne Hathaway, laughing while she hit her pen and coughed begging, baby, would you please do the things you said you'd do to me, to me? Oh, won't you kiss me on the mouth and love me like a sailor? And when you get a taste, can you tell me what's my flavor? I don't believe in God, but I believe that I'm the savior. My mom says that she's worried, but I'm covered in his flavor. And when we're getting dirty, I forget all that is wrong. I sleep so I can see you, 'cause I hate to wait so long. I sleep so I can see you, 'cause I hate to wait so long. She took my fingers to her mouth, the kind of thing that makes you proud. Nothing else had ever worked out, worked out. And maybe I tried other things, but nothing can capture the sting of the venom she's gonna spit out right now. Oh, won't you kiss me on the mouth and love me like a sailor? And when you get a taste, tell me what's my favorite. I don't believe in God, but I believe that you're my savior. My mom, oh, wrong lyrics. Cupping in his flavor, and when we're getting dirty, I can feel all that is wrong. I sleep so I can see you, 'cause I hate to wait so long. I sleep so I can see you, 'cause I hate to wait so long. Okay, I don't know this part. Let's see if I can do it. We can run away to the walls inside your house. I can be the cat, baby, you can be the mouse. And we can laugh things out, know nothing about. We can go forever if you wanna sit out. Alright. Okay. I saw another Cranberries Sunday. Alright. Hold up. I don't know that song, so I might know that song. I know the Cranberries, so maybe I might know the song. We'll see. We'll see if I know it once I play it. Hold up. Okay. Okay, hold up. It's hard to type with nails. Sunday by Cranberries. Oh. Okay. Yeah. You're spinning me around. My feet are off the ground. I don't know where I'm staying. Do you have to hold my hand? You mystify me. You mystify me. You mystify me. That's the only part I know. Hey, I've been confusing. I don't know where I'm going. Have to go. You mystify me. You mystify me. You mystify me. Alright. Okay. I will take one more request and then I'm going to end the live because I have to get videos of this before I take it off and go to bed, and it is already midnight, so. This is going to jump scare me in the middle of the night. It's going to terrify me. I'm going to set it in the corner so that it can look extra scary, so that I get a heart attack while I'm sleeping. That's going to be fun. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. But do we have any other requests before I end the stream? If not, then I can just end it. I wonder if my Face ID will still... My Face ID does still recognize me. That's fun. It took a second, but it saw me. Whew. Hell is forever. I don't know the words to that one. Oh. I'm not gonna flash people. Bad. Make sure you get rid of the makeup before you go to bed. I don't think I'm gonna be able to sleep with flowers on my face, so I'm gonna have to. From Hasbin. Yeah, I don't know that song very well, I'm sorry. Do you have another request? You're spinning me around, I feel on the ground. I got Hamilton on my playlist. This is a sweet song. Somewhere Only We Know? Yeah, sure. Whew. I need some caffeine. No, I don't. It's literally midnight. Were you live for 5 hours or something? 2.5. 2.5 hours. I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. I felt the earth beneath my feet. Sat by the river and it made me complete. Oh, simple things, where have you gone? I'm getting older, I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired, I need somewhere to begin. I came across a fallen tree. I felt the branches of it looking at me. Is this the place we used to love? Is this the place I've been dreaming of? Oh, simple things, where have you gone? I'm getting older, I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired, I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know. Oh, simple things, where have you gone? I'm getting older and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired, I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we go? So why don't we go? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we we go, somewhere only we know. Somewhere only we know. Somewhere only we know. Alrighty, there you go. Hope that gave you a smile. And I think that might be my cue. I think I'm gonna go now. I'm glad you did. Alright. I do think I'm gonna go now, because I need to get some videos of this before I get ready for bed. And my bedtime routine typically takes about an hour. And I'm tired, despite the fact that I woke up at 2 p.m. today. So technically, I've only been awake for 10 hours. Did you know that the average human spends about a third of their life sleeping? A third. Imagine if we didn't need sleep. Imagine how much more would happen if we didn't need to sleep. That's crazy. Alright, anyways, okay. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a good night. Yeah. Bye, lovelies. If I can press the button. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I can't push the button. There we go. Alright, good night.